Every nation has its own export and import rules that govern what products leave and enter the country and in what amounts. There are many reasons to regulate trade, and individual countries have their own particular rules and levels of taxation. An import and export business must be very familiar with not just the basic import rules of the global market, they must also know about individual nations with which they conduct trade. Why have import rules? Bringing goods into a country, whether it is by air, land or sea, has a real impact on that nation's economy. An uneven balance of trade can produce financial instability. For example, a nation that is overly dependent upon foreign oil can be at a disadvantage in the global market because the basic cost of living and manufacturing within that nation will hinge largely on energy and transportation costs, both of which are linked to the price of oil. This can drive up domestic product prices and lowers domestic profits. Protective measures. Many countries establish import rules restricting certain products, or banning them altogether. This tactic is designed to protect local industry from cheaper foreign competitors, or to restrict certain items from being available at all. If a country has a strong telecommunications manufacturing industry, the government might establish limits on cheaper foreign products in the same industry, giving locally made items preference. Nations often ban items such as some animals, plants, foodstuffs, and chemicals to control potential contamination. Revenue and punishment. Import and export taxes, known as tariffs and customs duties, are major sources of national revenue. Often countries with mutually beneficial interests will enter into free trade or preferential taxation agreements. On the other hand, import rules known as trade sanctions can be enacted as punishment for political or economic differences. There are many examples where countries have had trade sanctions imposed against them for their political and/or military policies. These sanctions remove them from the free trade market and cause them great economic hardship. Import rules and procedures. In order to import a product or raw good into a country, there are certain import rules and procedures that must be followed. The importer will need to be registered with the customs authorities in the destination country, and they must register the incoming shipment and document clearly what is being imported in great detail. This report of the shipment as contents is called the customs declaration, and the document used is called a shipping manifest. The quantity, specifications, exact origin and gross value must be listed and agree with a physical inspection by customs. Assessment and taxation. Customs officials will assess the shipment and then issue a statement of how much the importer must pay in duties for the right of bringing the goods into the country and distributing them. Customs duties vary widely, based on the actual import value, country of origin, and the type of import. Most nations assess a tariff of anywhere between 2–50%, but there are exceptions. Some countries establish free trade or protected zones, where international companies can import foreign items duty-free or at greatly reduced tariffs. Understanding the cost of duties is very important when determining the profitability of your products. Import rules will vary greatly from one country to another. Most countries have these regulations to protect their national economy and generate revenue. Importing and exporting is a vital part of international commerce and allows for us to enjoy products that are produced all around the world.